Surprise live today, guys. It's a surprise. We're doing things. Um, I'm gonna wait and let a few people show up. Nobody has any idea that we're going live right now, so this is a off day for me. And I'm messing around with something, and I wanted to bring anybody along that happened to stumble upon the live broadcast. And we're going to be doing a little dinking around with REW, Roomy Cube Wizard. Somebody's in the house. I don't know who. Let me pull up the chat over here. So yeah, we're messing around with REW, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of tuning. So let's get that up here. Probably we'll do that. You guys can see the meters over here on the side. What's up, hostile hair? No, I got REW up, and I'm gonna mess around with it a little bit. Bobby B was asking me about it, and I've not messed with it any, so I understand the concepts of what it's trying to do, but I've not used this box of tools. I messed with it for about 15 minutes before I started this live, enough to get what you see going on over there is in display. And a disclosure right at the very beginning, I'm not using a calibrated mic. I'm using my Yeti, the one that I'm talking on right now, to pull audio from. But let me hit this button over here. See, that's where the room's at right now. And it's not bad, really. You see this measurement down here. This is also a measurement whenever you run the little sweep. That's what I got from this room. This is after I just tuned it by ear the other day, and it sounds pretty good to me. I ran that little sweep, and that sweep is let's see if I can remember how to do it again. I think we do it. Okay. So yeah, it pulls up this thing, and you do this. And that makes your head explode. And that gives you the reference lines. It gives you more than this, but this is a start. There's a bunch of other harmonics, which I have those turned off. But they all basically follow this distortion curve, all the different harmonics. This red line up here is the levels of each frequency. That's kind of the thing that most people are going to be interested in. And the black line is your THD. And the noise floor is right here. That's my air conditioner running. Because, yeah, I got AC running. It's loud in here as far as this thing is concerned. But it recognizes that and that's the noise floor. And it's busy because of the air conditioner, which is right in this range here. So there's that. But we're not interested in that. Well, we're interested. See, REW, from what I can see, is essentially a big, nice toolbox. What's up, Bobby? He showed up. REW is a big, huge snap-on toolbox full of tools. Now, do you need all those tools to change your spark plugs? No, you do not. You just need a handful of tools to change your spark plugs. You need another handful of tools to change a carburetor or to replace a fuel pump. The point is, you don't need to know how to use every single tool in the toolbox to make use of the tools that you need in that toolbox. Um, Let me point out a few things I figured out pretty quick. So when you open up REW, you're presented with basically this page right here, this one. And you're going to need to go up here into preferences. And when you click on that, you're going to need to select your input mic right here, or else it ain't going to do nothing for you. And you'll need to select your output device, which in my case is my speaker system. Because I'm measuring the system that this is on, okay? So if I was using this program to measure something else, then I would probably have the output device going to the line going to that device. But you need to have that set up. You need to have the microphone set up. And I've got, there's all kinds of microphones going on in here, but the one that I have hooked up that's worth actually trying to use is my Yeti mic. And you see this thing. I've had this thing for like, I don't even know, 15 years plus. You'll see it in tons of people's YouTube videos because it is the go-to, kind of the gold standard these days for audio. And it works okay for this. Obviously a calibrated mic is going to be better, but you got to get this part set up with your inputs and outputs, or else you're not going to hear or be able to measure anything. When you get done with that, that's under the preferences, right? Then these little buttons here are the ones you're going to have at the top of your page. And right now I have selected, what do I have selected? Okay, so that pops up this thing. That popped up this. And whenever your measurements are going off to the chart, there's usually a spot for you to fix that. I'm not going deep into this whole thing though, because I don't know how to use all this stuff. A lot of the stuff's popping up on the other screen, and I'm just closing it. So your RTA is what I have pulled up there. But yeah, I've already got that pulled up. It just moved it to the top. And then, was it overlays? That does something different. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So that brings up all this stuff. So essentially, when you get to this is under distortion. So you can change to different things and look at all the different things. Most of this stuff we don't need. The waterfall is kind of cool. It's basically a representation of this line here, though. So it's not. I'm sure there's a whole lot of smarter people out there that can be a lot more detailed about all these tools, because this is a toolbox full of amazing tools. Again, I'm just changing my spark plugs. So what do I need? To set up a DSP, this right here is good for a final reading. And this right here is the more important one, because this is your real-time RTA. And when you press that, it starts recording. Bang, bang. See, it's recording. All right, so if we go to over here, I think it's the measure. No, that's not it. This one right here, this generator, this pulls this thing up, right? And you got lots of stuff in here that you can use, but what you want is full range. That's going to change, and I'll play this and show you. See all the different ranges available? So full range is the full range pink noise. That's what you're going to use to tune with. And then you need to have this meter up right here, which I showed you where that is. I guess. And so then you would just start this. And now you can tune each individual figure using this RTA as your reference point. You see how there's a dip right there? So all of those things I was showing you are areas where you might want to adjust the EQ. So on your DSP. So if you're tuning with your DSP, you're going to have one channel isolated, right? You're going to have, say, you got your driver's door isolated, and it's just playing the driver door thing. You could adjust your pink noise to only play that range, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to only get the range out of that driver that it can produce anyway. So what you're looking for is like peaks like this. And I tell everyone to pay more attention to peaks than troughs. All right. Because peaks will stand out a lot more to your ear than troughs will. And also, you're going to want to have a practice of reducing a band rather than trying to boost a band. So, like in this case, you see that peak right there that my voice is creating. Well, something like this, you would go into there and you would find that 4.5K or whatever, and then you would adjust that frequency for that driver, for that one channel. Bring that frequency down a little bit, and you keep doing that until you've got something that looks like a nice kind of a smooth-ish. It ain't got to be a straight line. You don't want that. That sounds like hot garbage. But what you want is a nice rolling hill, not a mountain range. Okay. You want nice, kind of smooth-ish lines. No big peaks, no big troughs, just a more or less smooth-ish line. That's what you're shooting for with your when you're tuning each individual channel. And you want to achieve that by reducing the peaks, not by boosting the troughs. I mean, you're going to have to boost troughs to a degree, but start out by reducing peaks. Do as much as you can to that driver, to that single channel, reducing peaks. And then in the very end, if you've got a trough that just won't level out, you may have to boost that trough a little bit. But as a practice, you really don't want to boost anything more than 5 dB. So whenever you're looking at, in this case, it's not very helpful. But on your DSP, when you're looking at the EQ on your DSP, you don't want to adjust anything up past 0. That 0 line's where it starts out at. You don't want anything that's really adjusted up over 5, with just a 5 dB boost. Anything above 5 gets real sketch as far as introducing distortion into the music. So if you're tuning this for an SQ kind of a setup, which pretty much everybody's going to be trying to get it to sound as good as possible. So you want to limit that up motion on the EQ. And if you do have to push it up, you don't want to go up past 5 dB to keep things clean. Let's see here. Bobby said, I didn't mean to go live about it. Hey, Bobby, I just had, I was going to record some stuff, and I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go big. Go big or go home. Hostile Hair says, I've used Smart ETA and an iPhone app. It's basic, but it works to find the holes and frequencies. Yeah. I have an RTA that I use on my laptop or on my tablet that I do the same thing with in my Tahoe. I don't think I have it on my phone. I was going to pull it up and show it to you guys. I've got it. I've shown it in a bunch of videos. Um, it's a it's a good app, and I use that. And it's like I said, it's not perfect, but it's close. But here's the thing: if you've got a PC laying around of any kind, this will run on anything. This is a really good setup because it's very accurate as far as you can calibrate the mic and all that stuff. And this is totally free software, so that's a plus. Um, but being able to take these measurements, if you're wanting to know how to use REW, there's about a million tools in this toolbox that I have not talked about because I don't know enough about them to talk about them. This program can go as deep as you want or as light as you want. And ultimately, what I would use it for is what you see on the screen right now. These things on the screen right now. This for actively tuning. So while you're tuning, you can use this as a reference with the pink noise. And I got to tell you, my ear is pretty damn good because that tune that you're hearing, that pink noise tune, that's just me listening to music and tuning by ear on music. And that's what I got. There's a bit of a peak around 700 hertz, and that actually was intentional. Whenever I was tuning it, I pushed 700 hertz a little bit to get a certain feel that I like in the music. The vocals, I wanted a little bit more in that lower register of the vocals. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this that's all by ear. I haven't even tried to tune it with the RTA up, but when I can't, you guys can't see what I'm doing on my phone, so it's kind of pointless. I mean, I can log into the thing. Let's do that. We'll try to do that. We'll take a stab at it and see what happens. My DSP is the one right behind me back here that you guys can't see because the other screen's up. But it is my B2 610. I just turned the app on. Let's connect to it. And it's connected. So now I got my B2 610 up here. And now I'm ready. So if I go in here in my B2 610 and go into the individual channel, which would be on the EQ channel, there's two options. There's EQ in, which is the EQ for the whole thing. And then there's EQ channel. I go into EQ channel and I choose, right now my channels are weird. So the one on my right is channel 1 and the one on my left is channel 2. So if I choose channel 1 and then I, on the EQ, and then I turn off all the other channels, silence them. So all I'm getting is channel 1. Let's see if we can do that real quick. There's the gain. Was that where it was? Under gain. Yeah, under gain. So if I turn off channel 2 and I turn off the subwoofer channel, which is channels 5 and 6. Okay. So now I've just got channel 1 on, which is the speaker to my right. Now let's start that up again. All right, so for the EQ channel, and you can see what I've got currently done. See how there's a bump down there? Right there. A little bump. Like a 3 dB bump. 0. Now it's dead flat. Guys, pay attention to this thing over here. So we got a peak around 650 or 700. I'm going to go over here to channel 16. I'll make a wider Q factor so it's fairly wide. I'll show you here in a second. You notice how that level's between the check? You also need to pull down 1,000 a little bit. We'll go up to like 900 or 829 actually. Bring that one down some. See that? Check it out now. This is what I've done right now. So essentially, you do that for each driver. You silence the rest of them, just run the driver that you're trying to EQ, and you get it to where there's no real, standout stuff going on. And then when you get done with that, you can go back and adjust your overall EQ to where it's tuned to your ear, and you're pretty much good. It's not real complex. Now, we just did that one driver, and I've only got that one driver playing. But let's just see what that one driver will register. So I got this thing up again. All right, that is for that one driver right there. That's just that one speaker. So you can see it's playing down, mainly down to 50 or about 60 hertz. It's really dropping hard, and I've got them tuned fairly low because they can do that. And you can see there's a bit of a dip right in here around where we worked on it some, so it would be flat. But what else is there? There's a hole around. There's a hole around this area. So how do you fix the hole? Well, to make this hole without pushing these up, you've got to bring everything else on both ends of it down some, and then your hole will start to, become less apparent. And once you've done that, you'll be good to go. I don't know how helpful this is to you guys, but I'm doing my best to offer up some information so you can understand the basics about setting up your DSP with an RTA or with using Room EQ Wizard. Room EQ Wizard, again, is a very comprehensive toolbox. There's a lot of tools in there, a lot more stuff in there that I know how to use. Anybody have any questions? Bobby, speak up. Bobby's probably working or something. I don't know what he's doing. Feeding the goats, maybe. I wanted to bring you guys along for this, but this is the part where you ask questions. Spit them out. There's no question that's too dumb. Hostile Hair says, I'm like you. I use the RTA to verify my tuning by ear, having to add some 3.5s to my system to help fill some holes in my tweets have. You're exactly correct on removing. Key is removing, not adding. Yeah. Um, you want to remove 99% of the time. Uh, you can bump a little bit, but it's always best to remove. And so the reason for that is, let's say you have your system set up to your clipping point to where it's at maximum volume, it's not going to clip. Okay. Um, Once you push that slider up over that 0, that frequency is no longer in that setting anymore. At that point, you have pushed a frequency above the clip hold, the threshold for clipping. So at full volume, that frequency could clip. What does that matter in the other spectrum of things? At low volumes, it's not going to be a big deal. You can push the sliders all to the top. At low volumes, it's not going to change anything. But it will make it sound like hot garbage. And as the point is to learn to do this correctly. That way, whenever it does matter, you're going to naturally go to the right thing. So boosting a frequency, just like boosting bass, at low volume, it's not going to do anything. But you will start running into distortion issues once you start turning it up. And you may not hear it until, it's really crapping out. You might not even realize you're distorting the speaker, overdriving a speaker, overdriving a tweeter. All that kind of stuff gets dangerous. So it's bad practice. We all do it. If you pull down the bands on both sides, sometimes you may have the cube set up to where it's spread a little bit. Got a little bit of the smaller number on the Q factor, the more it does. The wider the bass. The bigger that number, the narrower the affected area. But you might want to boost 200 and 300 or whatever, and just kind of spread it out a little bit. So you shrink your Q number down and make your bass wider, but then it pulls up 200 some, or pulls down 200 some. You can always push it back up a little bit. You just don't want to. You want to try not to push it up more than 5 dB from 0. Pushing it back up to 0 is fine. Pushing it up a couple of dB past that's fine. It's habits, and getting that right can make the difference between a good tune and blowing your speakers. Emmett Bishop, what's up, man? So I'm going to have to replay this one. I just got here late. Yeah. It's all right, man. There's no late to it. I just randomly popped up alive today. So you're not late. You just didn't get here when I popped it up, which is fine. I wouldn't expect. It's like throwing a ball at somebody when they're not expecting you to throw a ball at them, That's on you. They're not going to catch it. If they do, they're awesome. The point is, this is just some really basic REW experimentation, and I went through some of it, and you guys saw how it all works. Don't try to use every tool in the box. Just know that there is a toolbox, and there's enough stuff in this toolbox to do the job that you want to do. And once you understand the basics of how to use the very basic tools, as you learn a little more and figure out a new problem you have, then you're going to have to learn to use a new tool. And I know people talk about that waterfall thing all the time. So these are all from the same measurement. I know this is important, but I have no idea how to read it except that it looks fairly smooth, and I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. I really don't know. Um, I think if it looks fairly uniform, that's good, but I don't know anything else. I think this down here is the distortion showing. That's what it looks like. It's the same. I think that's the distortion showing down here. Yeah, I don't understand it completely, but it is cool to look at. It's pretty. It's got pretty colors. One thing I understand though is this one. This is basically a reading of the entire of all the levels and the distortion. Distortion is pretty low, all things considered. And this basically is a representation of what we're seeing on the graph. This is from earlier with the subwoofers and all and the thing. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to anybody watching the live show right now and anybody that's going to watch this in the future. Don't try to inundate yourself with every tool. Just find the one that you need, use it, and be glad that you have the toolbox. At some point, learn about the other tools. Maybe Google waterfall RTA or something like that. You can learn about that, and then you'll have knowledge to use that tool next time, and you'll know it's not just pretty colors. That's what I see is pretty colors. This is how learning is done, guys. Um, all you need is the gateway knowledge, right? The knowledge to open the toolbox and pick up a wrench. After that, you're going to have to experiment and learn all the new things. The cool thing about our REW though is it'll run on any computer, and it's free, and it's a lot of tools. To another tool I suggest everybody have in their toolbox, Audacity. I started out with Audacity. I used it for some really basic thing, and then later, as I messed with it more and more and more, I got to where I understand all the tools in Audacity's toolbox, all of them. I can open up that toolbox and rebuild an entire engine, right? No problem. I did not start out that way. I started out by going, I can't find this, or I don't know where that is, or what the hell is this? Like this, like what we're looking at. This is a similar thing. It's a box full of tools, and it comes with time and eagerness and assertiveness. You got to put in the work yourself. Google, what is this? Pick out a button. Just pick out one button. What is impulse and REW? Google it. There's going to be information on it, and then you can learn about it, and then you can get it. Wrap your head around it. Hey man, no problem, no problem. Tuning is a thing, man. So go back and watch the beginning, and you'll see how I do my basic tuning to start with, and you can work on that. There's no need to repeat it. Just watch the video over again. You'll see it. But you guys have any questions? Oh, let's see what Hostile Hair has. Can you put in a target curve in REW? I think so. So there was a button. Let me find it. That one. That button. That gives you this thing. I think this is a target curve because it has target settings and there's stuff here. It's got house curve. So there's, possibly something there. Like I said, don't know. Here's add a room curve. So you can do that. You can figure this out. So yeah, it's possible. I just don't have a clue how it works. All right. So, okay, there is some stuff down here. Modal analysis. So you got room length, room width, and room height. You could put that information in. Then you could add your frequency, start and end, find resonances. So yeah, of course, this is a room EQ wizard, so it literally has a lot of stuff for that in it. But yeah, you can, and you could use this in a car too if you wanted. I don't know, but yeah, there is a thing here. There is a thing, and I think that's under, what is that under? Not under that one. It's under this EQ up here. The other one that I keep pushing opens up this thing. I don't know what this is either. This is a bunch of pokey bits. Um, yep. Don't know. Haven't studied up on that. So yeah, there is an EQ curve thing, and I don't have any idea how to use it. Bobby said, "I'm here now. Start over, please. Just rewatch it, Bobby. It's not that big of a deal. You'll learn some stuff, but rewatch it. From what I've gathered so far, like I said, I'm just learning, just like you guys. I've got a head start on a couple of you, maybe, but and then of course there's ways to save stuff. I don't know what any of that stuff does exactly. I mean, I could just pretend like I do, but that ain't how I'll roll. Fake it till you make it. There is an SPL meter though, so you push that button. Check this out, and it brings up an SPL meter. Bam! Look at that. Yeah. So if I go back into my phone here, hang on a second, and we're going to go to the gain button. Turn my speakers back on that I turned off earlier. Unmute the speakers. Okay. All right. Now we'll go to sweeps. Yep. We're going to go. You guys can see this. Yeah, y'all can see this. So this is a sweep. Instead of the white noise or the pink noise we were playing, we're going to go to sweeps. And then we'll set up this frequency to start at 25 hertz and go to 20,000. See what this does. Yep, that was loud. All right. Is there a hold function? Let's figure this out. It's a high pass filter. Fast. Slow is selected. Fast will show the changes more quickly. I understand that. No limit set. Min max calibrate logger. Min max. Okay. So that'll show the max and the minimum. Okay. All right. Let's kick the volume up in here. Do that again. Ow! So we hit 95. We hit 95 dB. Fuego! What's up? A lot of people start with the Harman house curve. It gives you a good start. Too much high end for me. Yeah, I kind of like. Well, you saw my EQ. I kind of like the bass a little strong, and I like it to have a little bit of a belly, then come back up just a little bit at around 15K, and then roll off after 15K. That's kind of where I'm at. 10 or 15K, I like it to start decaying a little bit. My ear doesn't like the highs up there too much, too strong. Let's see here. Holy crap, that was loud. I got the volume on max in here. Been cooking homemade chicken wings last freaking 3 hours. Oh, now I want Taco Bell. You sorry asshole. I was good. I ate a hot dog earlier, and I've been good. And you had to go and mention food. Oh, now I got to get some Taco Bell. What's up, El Fuego? From Pacific Northwest. Bobby must have yelled at you. Bobby, El Fuego, wake up! Wake up! Wake up! You gotta watch this. El Fuego's like, what? What? Is the house on fire? Holy crap! You guys are great, man. Um, Bobby says, what app am I using? In reference to what? REW is what's on the screen. It's all RemuQ Wizard. All of that stuff on the screen. On my phone, I'm using my DSP for that thing back there behind me, the B2 610. Not anything left that I'm aware of unless I'm missing something. I know, dude. That sweep was bad. Y'all saw it coming. It was loud. I had to hear it. Holy crap. Turn my volume back down. Mess around and turn a video on later and the whole room just start blowing apart in here. I got that big old Hyanka 15 over there. I wish you guys could hear this thing in person. It really does rock out in here. It sounds good. So this right here is what's known as a musical penis. That's what it is, man. All right. Oh, we have gone somewhere we shouldn't go. Search. Let's see here. Search Harman curve and see if it's. Whoa, I almost lost you guys there for a second. See if it looks like your tune. Let me look it up on the Google real quick. Just to see if I can find. Oh no. Let's pull that up over here so you guys can see. Everybody can see. He's talking about this. Oh, that'd make my brain explode, dude. No, that is a teenager curves. What that is? That's the house party curve. That's hey no. No, that'd make my brain hurt. I know a lot of guys that run that kind of a curve, and I can only take being around that stuff coming out of those speakers for so long. It's just too hot in that upper end for me. I'll pass on that one, brother. Let's see here. Let's see. Bobby's my alarm clock for all things audio. Yeah. Bobby's my alarm clock too. He'll be messaging me. It's like, hey man, you know, you're gonna do the show or not? I'm like, well, once I wake up. You guys are so cool. Bobby, question. My JP95 takes 1 alt gauge. My smaller 2-channel takes 4 gauge. All right, let me read through this again to make sure I'm reading it correctly. You using 1 alt with 1 alt to 4 gauge for a smaller amp. That's totally fine. The bonus to that is you don't have to worry about refusing. So if you're going from an alt gauge, say you've got an alt gauge coming into your setup, and then you got a distribution block where you're splitting off the alt gauge splits off, and then like a 4 gauge comes off of that. Technically, if you're running that 4 gauge any length, it needs its own fuse for that wire in that wire. Because if that 4 gauge, if you've got that big alt gauge back at the back, if you've got it fused, right? Say you got it fused for 250 amps. and that 4 gauge gets grounded out, um, it's going to be destroyed and fire starting material before it ever blows that 250 amp fuse. Whereas the alt gauge will be able to handle that 250 amps, and if it becomes shorted out, it's going to immediately blow the fuse. The 4 gauge won't. It can get in trouble and cause problems without blowing that fuse. So whenever you go to a smaller wire off of a distribution, you are technically need to fuse it. And I say technically because if you're running at 6 inches or 8 inches from there's no point in trying to fuse that. It's just no point in it. If you're running it in any way, shape, or form, any length, if there's any way that wire could come into contact with bad things, any way at all, then it needs a fuse on the battery side. So it would be as close to the distribution block as possible. Ideally, just use fused distribution blocks. That sorts it all out. So that way you fuse it at the battery, and then when the wire gets to the distribution block and splits off, it's fused at that point also. Everything is protected. Everything is safe. Everything is wonderful, and it's neat. Fused distribution block. You should have several of them in your cabinet for future projects because you use them in pretty much everything. I should have used one back here on my board, but I didn't. But I should have. That's the ideal thing for that. Show you what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know, you see down here where I have all of my. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can find da button. Da button. My milkshake brings the boys to the yard. So right here, you see I have this power wire coming in and this ground wire coming in. The ground's going right here. The power's going right here. Now I would normally have a distribution block here, which would make this all simple. Going from this amp to the DSP, all that running through a fused distribution block. But I was putting this together with pieces, duct tape, baling wire, and all that stuff. So that's not what we had to work with. We're working with extra stuff. Bobby says, team no fuse. Yeah, whatever happened to the smiley face EQ pattern? That's what that other thing we were looking at was. That was that EQ pattern from high school. From high school. Whatever happened to high school? Where high school went, that's where the smiley face went also. It went the same place. It's like you remember waking up at 8 o'clock at night and taking off on a Saturday night and cruising all night till 5 a.m. and waking up at somebody's house that you just met the night before. We don't do that shit anymore either. We used to do that stuff though. Yeah, baby. Play it and live it. Said, hey, what's up? What's up, man? My thing is all wonky. What did you guys do? What did y'all do? Okay, hang on. All right, we'll get my digital stuff going on. I got a thing. I got an auto tracking camera up here, but it's bad for this. It's so bad for this. It's one of them little tripod deals that the camera follows you around wherever you go. It's sitting up there. My camera's mounted on it, but I can't use it because it's just bad for this. It does not do this. Hostile Hair says, I like the jazzy curve. It's harder to find because it's smoother on the top end. Well, you saw what I got. That's hang on a minute. Yeah. I mean, that's not a perfect curve. Let me pull it back up. This isn't a perfect example of it, but it's pretty damn close. I like a little bit warmer in the highs, but just a little bit. I like actually to show you my curve is this. Well, let's go way down here. Because, I like my lows, baby. But I like my curve to be humped up and a little bit in the lows and then drop down just a little bit in here and come back up just a little bit. When I get up to about 8 or 10K, I want to start rolling it back down again. That's kind of how I like it. I like it. I call it the old man highs. I like the old man highs to be a little bit bright, which is that 6 to 10K area. And then I want them twinkles to go rolling on down because my brain will still pick those up. It's really weird, man. Guys, try this next time you're listening to music. This is so cool. Next time you're listening to music, get back and listen to it and then take your fingers and press your ears against your head like this and then undo them again. And just keep doing that, going back and forth to this, And listen, what I want you to listen to specifically is the highs. So put something on that's got a lot of twinkle in it. Like, oh, backwater, keep on rolling, Mississippi moon, keep on shining on me. Go pull up the Doobie Brothers, backwater, play that shit. It's got the twinkles in the whole first part of it. And do this and this. And also find something with a really good screaming electric guitar like some Metallica with a good loud crunchy screaming guitar and do the same thing. Just put your fingers there and then take them off. And listen to the difference in the way it affects the highs. It's so bizarre. It's like my ear I picked up a bad habit, this right ear. For some reason, certain frequencies are too hot. I get this weird kind of an echoey, kind of a resonance in my ear, and it sounds like the speaker's distorting, but it's not. It's in my ear. And then whenever I push my ear flap down like this, it goes away completely. When I let it go, it comes back. And I have so whenever I'm tuning, a lot of times, if I'm hearing weird distortion, the first thing I do is I'll push that ear down and see if I still hear it. If I don't hear it, then I know it's just my ear that's doing it. It's really strange, but try that shit. It's pretty weird. You can also try moving your ears forward a little bit, but just changing the shape of your ear flap. It's bizarre how much it really affects the highs more than anything else. All the tweeter frequencies. Let's see here. Play it and live it. Let's see. What's up, man? Let's see here. GZ52. I'm running a 160 amp stock alternator, big 3 0 gauge. Okay, stock alts, big 3, big wire. Salt 1.5K. 4x100 AB on mids. And adding an AGM would not help you at all, really. I mean, a new battery is going to make more of a difference than what kind of battery it is. Odds are your battery's probably 3 or 4 years old, 5 years old. Putting a new battery in will help to some degree. At the power level you're pulling, you're just barely inside of what I would consider acceptable for an AGM setup. Honestly, though, getting the trunked under lithium 5K and putting it on back by your amplifiers is going to sort you completely out. And that new battery is going to cost you $200 to $300 to buy a good new battery, especially if it's a nice AGM. It's going to be upwards of $400 probably. Whereas you can get the trunked under lithium 5K version 1 for around $500, and it will solve all your problems all the way up, way past the system that you have now. That would be the best advice I could honestly give you. So yes, a new battery would help a little bit, but it's not going to hold for long, and it's not going to help. It's not going to fix the problems that you're seeing. It's not really going to be a total fix, and you're going to put 3/4 of the money in that than you would just getting the trunk under Lithium 5K and putting it back there by your amplifier. Putting it in the car wherever the amplifier is, run the power wire to it, and then on to the amp, ground wire to it, then on to the amp. That's going to sort you right out, man. You'll see, you will absolutely see a tremendous difference by that, doing that. And if you can't, and if you go that route, use my discount code CAE10, save 10% off of it. And if you can't afford that, grab the Big Jeff battery, the Big Jeff lithium battery. It's half of a 5K, more than half the price, but it's still less expensive. It would be far better than ripping a new AGM in. I have a discount code there too, but I don't know if it'll save you anything. You can try to use it. It's CAE at Big Jeff. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, guys. Bobby got me hungry, so I got to get ready for taco night. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a rundown with the REW thing. It's my experience. I'm messing with it for the first time today. It's the first time I ever messed with it. So hopefully you guys picked up some tips from what I've learned and figured out so far. And as I learn more things, I'll bring it up and I'll deliver it. But in the meantime, you guys need to be learning too. Pick one tab in REW and Google it and figure it out. Also, check out DIY Audio Guy's channel. He's got some REW write-ups. He's a math guy, so my brain just kind of explodes when he starts talking. It doesn't work. But as long as you can get past that, then you're golden. Very informative stuff. I just can't, my brain just doesn't compute, does not compute. And there's not going to be an outgoing track today. Actually, you know what? Wait a minute. Let's see here. No, I shouldn't do any of that. That'll get me in trouble. All right. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. Let's see. What am I going to do? Do you guys even know what I'm going to do? Does anybody know what I'm going to do? All right. I'm going to play something that isn't live yet. And we'll leave on that note.
Undertaker V2, sweetest sound pioneers. Every block on alert when the bass appears. GP car audio, the kings of the thump. Cities pulsing, something making hearts jump. Team GP rolling, speakers on the kitten, talking V2 sounds. Hear the black top spreading. Audio juggernauts, pushing power raw. Feel the beat in your gut, tearing through the law. Bass lines a sledgehammer, pounding the road, rattling bones, making every window explode. Undertaker V2, shout out in the night. GP car audio storm, no car left light. Team GP rolling, speakers on the kitten, talking V2 sounds. Hear the black top spreading. Audio juggernauts, pushing power raw. Feel the beat in your gut, tearing through the law. Bass lines a sledgehammer, pounding the road, rattling bones, making every window explode. Undertaker V2, shout out in the night. GP car audio storm, no car left light. Flexing with the subs, every ride too mean. City blocks on watch, V2 got the steam, 5,000 watts, no escape from the blow. Riders feel the rumble, they'll never miss a show. Waves crack, eardrums, home streets can't deny. GP, Undertaker shake, screaming to the sky. Sub ground zero, the epicenter grounds. Every corner buzzing, every system howls. GP rolling, speakers on my gate, talking V2 songs, and the black top spreading. Audio juggernauts, pushing power on. Feel the beat in your gut, tearing through the law. GP rolling, speakers on my gate, talking V2 songs, and the black top spreading. Audio juggernauts.
All right, go for it.
Feel the beat in your gut, tearing through the law. make your eardrums quake. Rattling the rooftops, neighbors can't escape. Seeing GP's the crew, bringing fire so soon. Speakers down so loud, you swear it's a typhoon. Undertakers come alive, rattling souls. 5K watts blaze can't control. GP warriors making grown men cry. Hold